So let's go ahead and talk about this book.
Sure.
We got Folklords #2 by Boom Studios. This is brought to you by Matt Kindt, that's the writer, and Matt Smith, who is the artist. Both of these guys co-created this title, and this is issue #2. Cover price on this one is $3.99. Now, we both reviewed issue #1. Can you kind of give us a little bit of a summary of what the story's about?
Sure. So you have this land that's kind of familiar, that kind of a fantasy setting, elves and humans kind of cohabitate creatures and stuff like that. And you have kids who, when they're coming of age, they go on a quest. And after that quest is over with, they become an adult. And the quests are varied, saving a damsel in distress, going and killing a monster, your normal fantasy type quest.
Fairy tale type stuff.
Right. Then we have a main character. His name is Ansel. And Ansel has dreams about a land that's very different than his. And it's actually our modern times, what we would know to be our world. And he's very interested in it, very excited about it, wants to know about it, wants to kind of live in that, and actually creates clothes that looks like ours, and gadgets that kind of mimic what we have. And so he wants to find this land. And he figures the only way that he can get there is to talk to these people who are forbidden, called the Folklords. And
hence
so,
the title of the book.
The title of the book, and that is what his quest is going to be. And he can't tell anybody because it's kind of forbidden. So that's the premise of it.
So basically, the first issue kind of just sets all that up. It introduces you to the main character. It's the coming of age. He sets out to go on his quest. A lot of people don't want him to go on this quest. They don't know what he's talking about.
Right.
But that's really the first book right there. He just kind of goes off and he leaves, and he's got a buddy with him. And so issue 2 takes up right at that point.
Right.
The two characters are starting the quest. They really don't know where to go.
Nope.
Okay.
Probably the worst adventures anywhere can be seen.
Neither of them have any sense of where they're going or where they're going to head to or whatnot. Now, in the first issue I talked about, something in the book reminded me of the movie The Village.
Right.
And after reading this one, I don't feel that way.
Really?
I have a different connection that this book made in here. But we'll get to that in a little bit. But all in all, I'm enjoying the story. I like that this #2 added a little bit more character depth to Ansel. And then it also introduced 2 other characters as well. And they kind of play on the emotion, like looks can be deceiving type thing.
Right.
Because the initial character that they introduce you to is like almost a monster type thing.
Like an ogre.
Like an ogre. But that doesn't mean that they're bad.
No.
Thing.
No.
And then there's another character that you're introduced to that looks helpless or whatnot. That's probably not a good character. We don't know yet, but I'm just saying. And we are going to talk about some spoilers. We do talk a little bit about spoilers in here, but not main ones.
Right.
But it's just kind of hard to talk about the story without actually getting a little bit deeper into it.
Yeah.
So they introduced those new characters. I thought they did it very well. I'm a really big fan of the artwork. I think the artwork fits this story. And the more I read the story, the more of a fairy tale type thing is what I'm getting from this story.
Sure.
Are you feeling the same way?
I do, but I'm kind of juxtaposed to what you just said because I'm starting to get more of a feel for your village theory.
Okay.
Right? Only because of the fact that as they've started this journey, nothing is going as they think it's supposed to go. So nothing is as it seems, and they're terrible about it. And I think that's contained in this world that they're in.
Yeah.
And I think it's supposed to happen this way.
Okay, so we're going to jump into my movie theory right here because there's a scene in the book. And for a minute there, I thought he was like hallucinating, but he wasn't.
Right.
He actually finds something in the pond, okay? And he finds a device that should not be there, okay? It's a mechanical, electrical device that should not exist in this fantasy realm. That technology doesn't exist. But he finds it. I immediately went to The Matrix. That's where I'm going with this.
Okay.
This kid is in The Matrix.
Right.
Okay? When he gets that device, I immediately thought of when Neo is in the office and he opens the envelope and the cell phone drops down and he gets the call from Morbius or whatnot.
Right,
or
Morpheus.
Morpheus, yes. And I immediately got that opinion right there. I think this kid is in the Matrix. I think he's probably somewhere in a cocoon, some kind of farm or whatnot, all the robots that are they're using the people for energy or something like that. And this is just the environment that they came up with.
That's so funny because as soon as he got the electronic device, I'm like, well, there it is. He was right. Bueller's right. Right. This is proof that outside world is right there with him.
It's combination.
I know. You know what I'm saying? And so anyway, I enjoyed that. I thought that was kind of a cool thing. It's a little piece. We don't know what it really is going forward, but we're already starting to theorize, and I love that.
We're definitely theorizing on this book, and these are loose theories. Let's just be honest.
For sure.
Because I definitely get like I said, this is a fantasy/fairy tale story.
Yeah,
that's what this mainly is. If you're a fan of fantasy and fairy tales and ogres, I mean, they're literally alluding to Hansel and Gretel.
Yeah, Hansel, exactly, book, and really the Frog Prince, right, is there as well.
Yeah, so there's all sorts of references to fairy tales that we grew up with in this book.
Sure,
and it's very enjoyable. I like the main character. Ansel is a great character. I think he's engaging. Like you said before, he has visions of things in his head from our world. He has a lighter. He literally made a lighter.
Exactly.
You know, from what he saw in his head. He made some kind of pocket lighter with what he had available to him in this world. And the people around him like, what is that? What is this foreign device type thing? And I just think that's really cool because, like we said before, they took the normal concept of a fish out of water type thing and flipped it.
Right.
Okay.
They're doing that all the way across the book.
Yeah.
I mean, so far, even with the two fairy tale tropes that we talked about, when this ogre-looking lady basically pulls him in for a kiss, she's waiting for this transformation. It doesn't happen.
Yeah.
Right. And then the Hansel and Gretel thing, that's been juxtaposed as well. So I love that they're subverting some of these things and turning it on their head.
Yeah.
One of the things that I'm most excited about this book is, in the midst of the comedy, in the midst of this thing going on with Ansel's friend, right?
Yeah.
They kind of show his origins in the background.
Yeah, and he has a weird origin story.
And so, he's been brought into this village, and because he was found as a baby, right?
But let's not gloss over this found as a baby. There was literally like
hundreds,
5 or 6 other babies laying around this tree.
We'll just take that one.
They only took one. And
that is true.
Yeah, it's like, okay, what happened to the rest of them or whatnot? That was kind of weird.
It was weird. They didn't even mention a thing about it.
Not a word. So that was interesting.
But the thing that came out of it was his parents, could see that some things were going wrong since they've got the baby, and they called him cursed. True to life, both of those parents die.
Yeah.
But he's still in the village. And so there's something in the background behind this that I think is really going to evolve in the story. And I'm kind of excited to see where that goes because what I like about it is he definitely is a friend of Ansel. So no matter if he's evil or not, I think that's going to come into play. And I'm excited to see that.
I think it does. I kind of got a little sneak peek of issue 3. And,
you did?
I think that you'll be surprised.
Uh-oh, here we go.
So there you go.
See, here we go. He's got advance notice and advance information.
Well, no, I just, whatever. But you know what? I'm enjoying this series, and I'm glad that we're reviewing this book.
Yeah.
And I got to say something. I just noticed this the other day. So normally when I buy my books, I put them all in a box, and eventually, like, in a month, I'll go through them and put them where they go under, with the regular titles. My stack of independent titles is growing immensely. I'm talking like it is outnumbering easily my Marvel and DC titles.
Right.
That was never the case.
Nope.
But now, this year alone, my independent titles through the roof, man.
Absolutely.
And stuff like this that Boom's putting out, that's right up there. This book, The Red Mother, which we just did.
Great book.
The other one, Something is Killing the Children.
Love
that book.
Yeah.
All those are on my list all the time. Boom Studios, awesome job. Thank you. It's weird to see that because I've always been a Marvel, DC guy, superhero guy. But to see my independent title list just grow and grow and grow, I'm enjoying it.
Absolutely. I am too. And I will have to say, in most of these independent books, the payoffs are actually there. I get so excited about some of these other stories, and it doesn't pan out, more times than not. And I'm loving the writing of these books. I'm loving the artwork, and I'm excited about comics again.
Yeah.
And so, yes, Boom Studios, thank you very much. You've had a stellar year, and just love the stuff you're coming out with.
Very cool. Well, I enjoyed this book. Definitely a must get. If you haven't gotten the first issue, please go check it out. You could probably pick it up on Boom's website, if not at your local comic shop. And this one just came out just last week, so it's probably still on the shelves. If you're not added it to your pull list, do it.
Yeah,
you won't
get
be
this one.
disappointed. It's a good one. And very excited for issue number 3.
For sure.